Can you hear me? Yeah, I'm just not talking right now, that's why. Damn, my thing just keeps crashing. Is it still live right now? Can you hear me? My thing been crashing. I don't know if it's still on or not. Let me know if you're still in the chat, if you can still hear me. Kind of what I want to see is the reason why I want to start seeing this area get pushed up. Let me see if I'm still alive. Oh yeah, I am. I don't know, I've been tripping lately. I've been closing out. So see, that was CPI. See what's tomorrow. USD, crude oil, FOMC, member bargain. I mean, they're yellow folders. I don't think there'll be anything. Yo, laughter. I made my money tonight on silver. It was moving more than gold, so I took it. Yeah, bro, that's what's up. Yeah, gold isn't always gonna be the move. Sometimes you gotta you're gonna have to do that with gold. Let's see. Yes, sir. Duplicate tab. Yeah, so what I usually do is try to use multiple assets, like silver, because you could use them as like a SMT, and then you could like um, it'll help you read them. I'm trying to pull them both side by side so I can show you, but damn, what's tripping right now? Why is it doing that? Okay, here's this one. There's that one. So I want to show you this like this, and then this one right here. Okay, perfect. And then I could look at silver right here, and I could look at gold right here. So gold will look like this. Oh, and silver's pumping. Oh yeah, that's the move right there. There it is. That's where the move is at. The move is in gold for sure. I mean in silver right now. Mugs, yo, what up, bro? Are you long right now? Not yet, not yet. Just looking over some things real quick. If you're speaking, I can. Hey, my bad. I was kind of far away from the mic, but yeah, can you hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me. I had to turn my mic up a little bit. But what up, Mugs? What up, Laughter? But yeah, what I was pretty much saying was I use silver and gold like an SMT, so you could see which ones is making a lower high, which one's making a lower low, all these things, type of things. And these are good pairs to like match up next to each other. But yeah, definitely silver got to move right here. I might want to look into silver real quick just to try to find something. Yeah, I see this on the daily right here. So let me show you what I see on the daily. Just got back from my trip from Cali. Mugs, what part of Cali were you in, Mugs? Alright, yeah, we could hear you now for sure, Raj. Yeah, my bad. My mic was a little far away from me. I wasn't really trying to. I mean, I'm gonna talk, but I wasn't really like. I was just trying to do some analysis and stuff. But yeah, look at this is on. So if silver makes a higher high than gold, does that mean gold is lagging? So the way I use gold and silver, so technically you're supposed to use three of them: gold, silver, and the DXY. I can't put up three charts on this screen, but I have my, cause I'm on my laptop right now, but I have my streaming PC, and I could put three screens on there. So eventually I'll be able to put all three screens. But yeah, so what would happen is gold will make something like this, like lower low. This would be an SMT, and then this would be an SMT, and then silver would make like, instead of it being a lower low like this one over here would be like, so like I said, so gold will be like this. Gold will be a lower high, and then you'll see silver make the higher high. So instead it'll be like this. So pretty much if you just cut this in half, like this would be gold and then this would be silver pretty much. So what they say is it's like a cracking correlation because of the fact that they are supposed to be together, like gold and silver are usually kind of following each other. When one of them kind of gets out of line, it's kind of a sign. It lets you kind of know, all right, we might be like, so pretty much what I'm saying is that in gold, this one right here would kind of like, in the sense, this breaking this low will kind of signal, oh, we're about to go lower. But silver would be making, like in this case, would be making something like this, where it would be like a higher high. So one would be breaking the low, and then one will not be breaking the low, kind of like this. But the thing is if they're both supposed to be correlated together, but one is breaking the low and one is not, what that pretty much signals though is that that's like the cracking correlation, which is pretty much like a heads up, because one of them is respecting it. Like let's say silver is making the higher high or the lower high, while gold is making the lower low. That is, this silver is kind of giving you the heads up. There's a reason why silver also didn't break the low, because if silver was gonna break the low, then they would have still been in sync, and then they would have just been breaking the lows. I had to put some expensive earphones in to hear you. I was in San Diego, bro. Oh, I know where San Diego's at. My buddy lives in San Diego. What's your opinion on the daily on CRT gold? Yeah, you also can't pattern trade, Raj. It's not every single time you see it it's gonna be the one. I had seen a post earlier. It's in the Twitter CRT like community page type of thing. It's pretty much saying that you can't pattern trade it. You gotta have some kind of what they call it. You gotta have some kind of narrative. You gotta kind of understand which way the trend is going, where you're heading, those type of things, because just taking a CRT pattern trade every time is just not gonna it's not gonna work out every single time. So that's why I say it's like you got to make sure you're finding ones with the right narrative. So, but I did see this over here on silver, so I wanted to check this out on silver. You could kind of see this. Let me see. All right, yeah, that's a CRT on that one. So that means it would be a daily. Oh damn. Kinda did. Daily. Alright. There's a daily CRT right there though. So that's an ad. I mean, that would also be on the 4 hour. But I do see this right here. This is like a small one that's happening right now. This is on silver. I'm just going through silver real quick. Yeah, gold is kind of ugly right now. I know that's why I'm just kind of waiting on it, trying to see what happens right here on gold. But if I could find a direction on silver, because it might be a little cleaner, it might give us a better direction. So I mean, this is looking like it's already gonna start heading up towards this way. So if this ends up being a daily CRT, then that means it's gonna at least probably need to hit this high, and if not that high, this high. And it might target this gap right here. So if it targets this gap, but it's already been in this gap actually, so this could just be retesting it maybe too. So the way I always think about it is that it's always about lows and highs and gaps. So the main thing that I focus on when I'm looking for a trade or something is that I'm always looking for highs and lows and gaps. So that's one thing, is that you always got to look for gaps. So you can see right here, this is on silver going into the gap. I mean, if it targets anything, it's going to push past this gap. So so yeah, I'm just playing around with it right now, just trying to see what I could find, see what I could see. Well, I'll break down gold right now. I'll show you guys what I see on gold so I could show you guys, but I did see this. I want to see this. So if this is on the daily, so then I would want to look at possibly something on the 1 hour that maybe gives us and that is a gap right there. So let's see this daily gap. Oh, there is a daily gap right here too. Daily gap. Oh yeah, that's respecting that daily gap too, so that's a good sign. Alright, so look, that's alright, so look at that. Actually, this is a good sign right here. I want to show you guys something. So you guys can see right here, right? You see how this taps right here, and then this taps right here. So this is like the lower high right here. So what I see when I see that kind of happening, it usually targets the low that, or like you can see this is like the area right here. So that's usually where it targets at, right? So kind of what I see with gold. Oh, right here. It's in this area right here. I'm just kind of taking a guess right now, just trying to see, but like what if this is the same thing? Where you have it, you hit the low, and then you broke out of it, and then you came back for this retest to push it out, and then right here you came back for the retest and pushed it out. So I'm just wondering if that could possibly be the if that could possibly be what we could be looking at. Just something like that. But that's why I was saying gold is looking real ugly right now. So that's why I'm kind of just waiting to see. I mean, the one thing that I did see, damn, this silver though is looking clean though. Like it's looking nice and clean. That was definitely a good little area right here. Pushing into that, pushing out of that. That's the daily. Oh yeah, no, that's perfect right there. Mugs, this is exactly the move right here. Yeah, this is it. Cause look it, this is inside of a daily gap, and then you go to the 1 hour, and that's where you start to respect this 50% of that daily gap. You can see nothing close below it, and then it goes, like I say, your first tap and then your second tap. So most likely, my guess is that it's gonna at least go to this, but the next range would I think would be right here. Would be this one. And then watch when this happens. Right there at the second. And this happened at the second. Yeah. 10:15. Yeah. What's up? Alright. Ooh, damn. Look at gold. Gold is pushing down. Let's see. So we have this little area right here. It looks clean, bro, but I don't like to buy up top. I call it top blasting, bro. Yeah. Yeah, no, it just depends on what you're trying to target and stuff like that. Because obviously, yeah, you definitely don't want to buy at the top. You want to be at the bottoms and stuff. But so let me see what time this was at. This was at 18. This was at 18. So I want to try to see 15 to 20:45. 15 to 20:45. 20:45 right here. Oh, that's why it's on a different time frame. Oh yeah, but look, this is actually a good sign right here. Look at, I'm actually pointing. This is a good thing I'm pointing this out. 20:45, 15. So yeah, pretty much here. 20:45 right here. So pretty much that. Yeah, look. All right, so look. So look at, as while gold was going down like this, look at what silver was doing. Silver was going this way. So it's like almost like the difference. Yeah, London, no. London is where I think the move is going to be at, because that's where it usually makes a lower high at. One o'clock. 1 o'clock. So this would be midnight. This would be midnight right here. Damn, bro, this is. Look at the difference. Look how the charts just look completely different, though. This was all choppied up, and then this one right here is just like just pushing. So that's where it's going. Yeah. So silver, I think silver is definitely gonna hit this high right here. Out of this range, bro. There's a clean range up, down, but there's traffic. Like, oh yeah, I know, man. There's a lot of this traffic right now. Yeah, this is the areas that I'm seeing, and this is silver right here. So silver is doing nice. It's a nice little mad ugly range. I know. Yep. I know. That's why I was thinking too. something needs to happen where I think um, where the a low needs to happen. This was a low in the morning, which it kind of plays out, but just something about it. You streaming at nights again, bro? Yeah, Mugs. I'm gonna be streaming at night because I've been working during the day still, so I'm gonna start streaming at night. I tried streaming yesterday, but my stream cut off. So sometimes it'd be cutting off, but sometimes it'd be working. So I just gotta see. I'm just gonna be on stream as long as it stays on. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. The one thing is I had called this level right here. I called this exact level right here at 33.32. So pretty much just 10 pips off. But I had this level as being the bottom. So when this level got tapped, I had actually took a buy right here from this little level right here. And I mean, in my case, in my eyes, it's kind of lucky because I was able to catch that. But I was assuming it was going to keep running. But then that's why I kind of see this happening. And then it was kind of giving me the idea, okay, so now the next area would be up here. So it looks like we manipulated this. So now we need to at least come up here. But that's where I was saying it's just been struggling right here for some reason. But it goes back to, it's like, if this could be the accumulation, manipulation, then distribution. So how candles open is like this too. So let's say this one opened up, down, and it closed like this. This one opened low, it went up, and then it closed like that. And then this one opened low, went up, and it closed like that. Now this one it's just kind of opening right here. Now let's see, is it gonna open up, close down like that, or low, high, and then go like that? Because like I said, you have to understand too how candles open. Candles only can open a certain way. Like like I said, if it opens low, then the only other thing you could do is make a high and then close. Opposite, if it opens high, the only other thing it could do is it still needs to make a low at some point. So, and that's why I kind of say too about when you understand a candle, you know a candle makes a pullback, a candle leaves a wick. So that means towards the end of the candle, it's gonna make a pullback or do something. So same thing like on a weekly candle or a monthly candle. On a weekly candle, if you're into a trade, like let's say on a Monday, and you're holding the whole weekly candle, you're not gonna close at the very last second of the weekly candle. You're gonna close probably the day before, because that last day will be the wick getting created. So it's the same thing of understanding open, low, high, close. So after high, that means the close is not gonna be a candle without a top wick or bottom wick. It's gonna be a candle with a wick. So that's what that means, is that the open, high, low, close is the wick getting created. Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking though, is like, and look at silver, it's going up. All right. So yeah. So like I talk about when the like you can see at the bottom, I have the quarterly theory boxes. So I could have one of these other boxes, the quarterly theory boxes too. So let's say right here, this will be first, and then this will be second. So second quarter will be somewhere around here, not till about 1:45, 2 in the morning. So that could be where the move is gonna happen, possibly by like 1:45 to 2:15, because that'll be the macro, which will be 4:45. But I mean, what I'm saying is understanding. This is quarter one, this is quarter two, and then this is quarter three, and then this is quarter four. When you understand SMT usually needs to happen between these two quarters like that. So, or it could be this way too, vice versa. But then that means silver would need to do the same thing. But pretty much what I'm getting to is that I believe if it needs to make a low, it might need to make another low, which would be this low, and then it's gonna go kind of thing. That's the only thing I'm kind of thinking about. But then again, this is in the fourth quarter, this is in the third quarter. Yeah, that's in the third quarter though. No, that's not right. But yeah, no. The reason why 2 your time, 4 my time. Yeah, I just go by I go by New York time. The reason why I know people use their time for their time zones of what they use their normal life, but I don't believe those times matter. The times that matter are the times that all I mean, obviously you can get used to it. You can know your times are this, but I think it's easier through the New York Times because it's like universal. Like everybody that talks trading, they talk through New York Times. So it's almost best. Even it doesn't matter. I don't even live in New York, but I still use the New York Times because at the time of New York is all this. It's all. I don't know. Like I said, it's all just. It's all the same, I guess. Hmm. But but yeah, like I said, I just use New York time because I believe New York time is the time that is correct. But that is the one thing that I'm kind of not. I'm not worried about because I'm not in a trade or anything. But that's just the one thing is I understand. But it's also on a Tuesday and this is a Wednesday actually. So this could be. So if anything, this could. I don't know. No, because London usually makes the low. So if that's the low, then that's that. All right. Have a good night, bro. Peace. Are you talking about New York open at? I do. Well, I talk about New York yeah, I just talk about New York as the time itself because of the like everything that I usually do is all based off of New York time. But yeah, so okay, so yeah, like I was saying about this though, was the reason why I was kind of thinking this was going to be that move like this was because of that, like, like, like in the silver. This is a perfect example. This one worked out perfect because this one was clean. So this is where like, this is one thing too. I always say is like there'll be a trade, a cleaner trade somewhere. You just have to be able to identify it. But the idea is this: is that you see how we came down here, and then after, let me restart it. So we came down here, we pushed up, and then we gave a retest to that box before pushing up. I was kind of thinking this was kind of the same idea. So this would be that first push, and then this would be like that retest to at least come back up to here, which would be like pretty much over here, which is that. So if we come up to there, that would be the next area of like buy side liquidity, sell side liquidity, whatever, buy side. But this is the thing. Okay, oh yeah, let me get down to to what I was talking about. But this, so look, as you can see, this is gonna be on a 4 hour. So where we were at right now, we're inside of this fair value gap right here. So what needs to happen is this: is that you can see when we pushed off of here, the high that belonged to this low is here. So that's where we usually target. So when we pushed up here, it has only two options. It could only either go up or down. But the thing is from what I understand and what I usually trade is, like I say, I attack the high that belonged to the low. So if this is the low and this is the high, that's where I believe it's gonna start. It was supposed to start heading to. So if it's supposed to head towards that way, then my idea is how are we going to get up there? And then that's where I kind of came up with these ideas of understanding this is where it might need a tap before pushing back up to at least here, which will give us something like that. And then you kind of look at, this is the daily candle also. So you could have this low and then the 50 is here and then the high is here. So that's pretty much where we're sweeping. The 50 is going to be here, the high is going to be there. And you want them all to be in the same direction. And that's where I don't know if Raj is still here, but that's kind of what I mean about not just taking any and every time you see the 3 candle pattern. But the thing is every time you see the 3 candle pattern, that's when that's when your antennas are supposed to go up. That's when you start searching for the things that make the CRT what it is. And that's why I kind of say is like, if you kind of understand this kind of stuff where, okay, if this is supposed to push up and it's supposed to go to this high, then I need to figure out how we're going to get up there. So if the move is supposed to go up, so that means the trend could possibly be still bullish. That's the direction I would also want my CRT to be going. So you would want the CRT to be going in the same narrative as you already have. So that's why I kind of say too, it's not just a pattern trade, because every time you take a pattern, it'll just show up every time. But what happens when this one becomes the CRT and then it comes down, and then you might start thinking it's the sell version. But that's why I kind of say too, it's just about understanding the narrative. Like since in my head I'm already understanding we're supposed to target this high, if we're supposed to target that high, then that means what I'm looking for is some kind of liquidity sweep, which will be here. It's inside of a gap, and then we're going to start targeting these highs. And it's not just going to be a buy from here, because that's where everybody that's like a rookie trader, in the sense, like a new trader, would think of this as a breakout, and then they get trapped at the high. So it's almost like it needs to make a sweep of a liquidity sweep, which is, this is just, it goes back to understanding too, narrative is about like somebody will see this pullback right here, and then they will scream out that it's bearish. But if you understand the overall narrative, and let's say this is supposed to go all the way up, let's just say I'm right and it's supposed to go up here, then that means that this right here is just a pullback to grab more liquidity, so it could go up. So it goes to that. So in reality, the trend is still bullish, but the bias of that current day happened to probably be bearish. But if you kind of understand how the moves and all these things work, you'll know, okay, it at some point it's gonna make a pullback. Like look at this move right here. Like, I had taken a buy here, and then I got out here because I understood this needed a pullback. So things like that, you just have to understand. It's a lot to it. It's not just a 3 candle. I mean, yeah, you could trade just the 3 candles, but you got to understand like what's inside of it. Okay, there it goes. All right. Oh shit, let's see. All right, so yeah, so this is kind of what I see. Yeah, you got a lot to work on, bro. It's just like I say, you ask questions as if it's super easy, like if I could just give you the answer, but it's a lot. There's a lot to it. You got to know, like I say, you got to know whatever you're trying to, whatever type of trade you're trying to get into, you got to understand, all right, what happens before it, what happens after it. But see, okay, that's the case. So how you asking me, how do you know that when it's gonna pull back? Because I've looked at it 50 times, 100 times, and I seen how it reacts. I mean, how, like I'm just making it exact. I'm just trying to point it so you understand it. It's like, how else would I know? Like, nobody ever told me, so it's not like somebody just, hey Nick, this is how it goes. Every time I take a trade, I take a buy or something, I see what happens after. Does it pull back? Does it go up? Does it pull? Like, whatever happens after is how I learned that. So what I'm saying is, like, how I know it's gonna pull back is because I've done it so many times. I've done this so many times to where I know things pull back at certain levels. Why would it pull back here? Because there's a gap right there. It filled in all the gaps right here. Then it pulls back and it does a retest. But that's what I'm saying is, like, you gotta look at the chart. Like it'll tell you, like, you gotta understand, what does a move happen. I get it how you see it, but as a rookie, how am I supposed to know? That's what I'm trying to ask. Okay, so how you're supposed to know is by looking at the chart. That's the thing, is you want me to give you an answer that, even if I, like I say, I'm telling you the answer, but you're still telling me, oh, how am I supposed to know? Bro, I'm telling you, the answer is you're supposed to look at the chart
and figure out what happens before and after the move that you're taking. So every single time you take a trade, you put a trade right here, you say, oh, it's going to go up here, boom, boom. You need to know what happens before, then you need to know what happens after the trade. So that's what I'm saying is like you're asking me a question, like if I'm like if it like but I'm telling you the answer. That is the answer, is like you're supposed to look. Chris, yo, what up, bro? That's what I'm saying is like, bro, you're supposed to like look at the chart and then see what happens. It's like how else how would I know? That's what I'm saying is, how do you think I came up with the answer? Do you think somebody just gave me the answer, or do you think I just looked at the chart to like seeing what happened? Right, I got it, less talking and more looking on the chart. That too, but you need to listen to what I'm trying to say. Try to understand what I'm trying to say. Don't just try to reply. Because like I said, everything you ask is always like an easy, lazy answer. You just want an answer. Like you don't want to have to put in no work. But that's the problem, is there is no answer. The answer is you have to put in work. Yo, Chris, yeah, I know it's been a minute, bro. So here we go. Let's see what's going to happen. But that's what I was saying too about earlier too, about there needing to be a low. So if there's a low that needs to happen, and if it happens in the second quarter, that's what I'm kind of thinking. I'm wondering if this could happen. I know, but the thing is you ask questions because, like I say, just think about it from my point of view. How did I figure it out? Like, how did I figure it out? It would have, like, nobody just said, "Hey, Nick, you have to do it this way, do it this way, do it this way." Like the real answer is it's right here. It like that's what's so crazy too, is like, bro, the answer is right here on the chart. Like if you took a buy right here, let's say you took a buy way up here and you were wrong, and then you go and ask me, "Hey Nick, why was I wrong?" Bro, it'll tell you right here. Like whatever you thought was a buy, and I'm not just using this as an example, but this is what I'm trying to point out. Like anytime, this is why I say too, you need to do a lot of practice trades. If you took it, let's just say you took a buy right here and your stops get hit, boom, you lost the trade. Asking me what you did wrong or what not is not going to be I'm not going to be able to tell you. The answer is going to be right here. Like, you have to start digging into this and start figuring out why. You got to start seeing what candles printed, how did it print, what made you think buy when it was a sell, those type of things. It's like I say, like it literally gives you the answer after you take the trade. That's the main thing, is like you got to understand, if you take a trade, the answer will be present, coming soon. Like let's say right now let's say I take a buy right here. I don't know if I'm right or wrong until it plays out. And I'm just using this as an example. Let's say I end up being wrong. Boom. Now I know that that idea was completely wrong. So like I say, that like there's nobody else that needs to tell me if I was right or wrong. Like the chart literally gives you the answer. It tells you like, "Hey buddy, you were wrong. This is why your stops got hit." So only thing you can do is try to go back and try to figure out why. And this thing is dumping. Okay, we closed below. Now we're coming back down to these levels. something. All right, so let's see. To the 15. Oh, this thing is moving. See the hourly. And one thing about the hourly is the candle that usually does a lot of the manipulation. So a lot of times you gotta wait for the hourly candle to close. That's one of those things too, is like you gotta wait for the hourly candle to close a lot of times, because if it's before the hourly candle closes, you're gonna get manipulated a lot of times. All right, let's see. All right, and look at what time it is right here inside this little macro box. Let's see what happens. Remember the time frame that I was saying at 145 to 215. So let's see if this ends up being the area we probably want to look for. But the reason why is just because, like how I'm saying about the times of like the quarters and stuff like that. Understanding these quarters. So a lot of, like I said, it doesn't have to bounce. I'm not thinking it's gonna bounce or anything, but what I'm saying is just this time right here from 145 to 215 is usually like this is when volume kicks in a little bit. It's a macro time. It's like the understanding of a macro time is the last 15 minutes of an hour and the first 15 minutes of the next hour. So in this case, this is at 145 and then this one's at 215, and look at what's happening right there at that time. That's kind of the thing you would kind of want. Man, I have a lot of stuff, like I have a lot of things that will kind of give you a heads up that this could possibly be like the move kind of thing, of just for this idea, just understanding how I say like you need to close below and then you see this candle right here. That's usually a good sign right there. So if we start closing above here and then closing above here, that will be a good sign, because then the next high will be up here. And then if that ends up being the manipulation, but yeah, so that's what I want to see. React to price action, no structure, resistance, support levels. Yes, sir. All right, let's see how this ends up going. Then I think pumped up. All right, but yeah, that thing. Oh, excuse me. Yo, we got 7 people watching. Let's go. Yup. I'm gonna probably get off in a little bit. I just want to see what happens right here in the next 10, 15 minutes or so. Yeah, I probably won't take no trade or nothing yet, because I do got to go to sleep. I do got to go to sleep pretty soon, so I just kind of wanted to prepare for tomorrow New York session, just trying to get things ready. So the thing is what I'm kind of like I was saying about earlier is if this ends up being the first tap right here, and then this ends up being the second tap, then I'm kind of expecting it to start pushing up. But if this isn't what I think it is, which is it could not be that, and then it just starts pushing back down, and then this is the low we're gonna start targeting. But this was the low that when we first pushed off of here in the morning, I think it was the morning time. Yeah, 10 in the morning. Oh, Bitsy, did you see the trade I sent you on IG? Give me your review on that. I think you just sent me the same 4-hour gap that I have right here that I sent you already. It's the same idea, which was something from here. The only thing is it goes back to what I'm saying is that, yeah, that could be the idea, but you would want to get in right here at this bottom area because you can see it's all chop right here. All of this right here, every stop is getting eaten up, buy or sell in this area, unless you're in this area down here at that bottom, because you're kind of safe right there. But all right, let's see. We're pushing. Let's see how we push. Let's see how we push. That would be crazy if it happened right here in this macro time. Ooh. Yup. Let's see. And then this would be the close above. And then that is on the 5-minute. Then let's see. 5-minute, 1 hour. So that'll be on the 1 hour. So that'll be the 1 hour. Oh, I see. Always a pattern trade. You got to make sure you have a narrative behind it. Like I say, every trade needs to be in a gap. That's one thing I learned is every trade needs to be in a gap, which means it needs to be in a fair value gap tap. It needs to be in a higher time frame gap tap. It needs to be in some kind of tap. Oh, there we go. We're starting to push now. That's what we want to see right here. And it goes back to look at what time it happened at exactly. That's why I say time and price. Is it just me or is the stream lagging? It might be lagging. I've been on for a while already, so the answer is there is no answer but just a byproduct of price action. Yes, Mugs. Byproduct. Yes. yes. Damn, Mugs, I thought you went to bed. Nah, Mugs trying to get some cooks. Yeah, I'm gonna start cooking, bro. I'm telling you, I'm gonna start cooking. Oh yeah, but let me show you guys this 4-hour chart. Let me show you guys what I was kind of looking at. All right, so look. So we have this order block push right here, right? Push made a new high. That's the new high I believe we are targeting right now. So that's kind of why I had these prices here. I had this price, I had this price, and I had this price. But this price was just in case this price failed. So that would be the next area. But the thing is I believe if this price fails, that doesn't automatically mean this is the next area. This could also mean this is just going to blow through here and then start pushing even lower. So you got to, like I said, you got to understand narrative. things like that. And the thing is look, if I'm right and this is the move that I think it is, and it does have to go up here, then that means I've been able to find, and like I've had this level for a while already, but this is since July 30th. So this was already pretty much 2 weeks ago. I've been able to understand the narrative of, okay, if this is all bullish, that's why a lot of my trades have been buys lately, because I've been taking just from here buys all out of here, stuff like that. And then I knew this was a sell, so I ended up taking a sell to this level. So that's what I was saying is I already knew at this point. So at this point I knew it was coming down to this level. So at that point I knew, okay, so if I'm looking for that, I should be looking for, it shouldn't break this high, and I should start looking for sales that are going to target this. So that's also what I was doing. So that's why I say is like, you got to understand where you're coming from, and it makes everything easier, because what happens is people end up just trading with this information, which is kind of correct if it's correct. Meaning, like let's say you're reading it and it's giving you a bullish information, and you just land in it because it is bullish, but you didn't really understand why it was bullish, because it's still bullish because of all this. So some people will think this is bearish because they'll just be looking from here and they're like, oh, this is just a lower high. Now it needs to make a new lower low. It should come lower. And that's where people will be targeting. So they'll be looking for sales. This will be their TP, and then their stops will be up here. And then so it's going, like I said, one of them is going to be right and wrong. So if the buys are right, then the sells are all going to be wrong. But that's what I'm saying is like, so, and I'm not just saying this because I want to be right. This goes back to what I'm saying about Raj, about what I'm saying about, this is like, you're going to ask me, oh, how do you know it's going to go to the top of here? How do you know that? Well, bro, this is just the same example as earlier. It's nobody told me. It's because I've done this a bunch of times, and then I've seen, what does it do? Does it push to the top, or does it get rejected, or what? And then, like I say, I've seen more times than not, it goes up to this level. So without me ever knowing for sure whether or not it's going to go up here or not, I have to follow my plan and understand that it does go up here. I won't know if I'm right or wrong until it goes up there or it doesn't go up there. But I'm betting on that it is going to go up there because of the fact I've done this so many times. I know what happens after the fact. So if I know what happens after the fact, I should be able to, like I say, nobody knows if they're right or wrong. They just are following their plan because they know their plan works. And like I say, a plan is just something you've seen happen before, and you can say it's going to happen. Not know, oh, I think it's going to happen, maybe this and that. No, it's either going to or it's not. And if you can say it's going to, then that's following a plan. If you're unsure, then that's just gambling. All right, here we go. We did push back. We did push back past that again. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Bro can't miss the sauce. Exactly. Bro, I'm cooking, bro. I don't even, like I said, just take my piece little by little. I'll get there. And then it goes to this. How did I know this was going to be the candle that pushes up? I've seen this happen a bunch of times, so that's why. So it goes back to things you just have to see. Like at some point, you guys have to get to a point to where you follow something because you know it's right. Like, oh, this can't, like one thing Don would always talk about when he would take his trade if like a breakout trade, the candle needs to have a top and bottom wick. The next candle needs to create a bottom. Let's say we're taking a buy. It needs to create a bottom wick first, and then push break, flip bullish, and then you take the buy, and to at least fill the wick, and then trail after that, or TP2 type stuff. But that was a plan every single time, and that's what I'm saying is there's gonna be a way where every trade is gonna look the same because you're following the same plan. It's not what a lot of people do is they trade pure price action. Like that's not a model. Trading pure price action is not trading a model. A model is trading something that repeats. So it's like price action is just like I said, fucking pure price, just watching the chart as it's that's a different type of strategy. That's a whole different type of skill. But that's not like in a sense, that's why every trade won't look the same. If every trade looks the same, that means you're following the same. But then that also means you're not going to get a trade every day, because it doesn't mean those things set up every day. But yeah, bro. That's what I'm saying, man. You just like it goes back to you got to have a model, bro. Like it's hard to explain right now, but like a lot of people, they say they have a model, but they truly don't. Like you need to be able to write it on a piece of paper, and then every single trade you take needs to have every single one of those steps. And if it does have every single one of those steps, then we know it's the right trade, it's the same model, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, let's see. All right, let's see how this goes. All right, yo. Hey, type 1 in the chat if you want me to leak some sauce real quick. Type 1 in the chat if you want me to leak some sauce. All right, look, game. This is what we talk about. Whoo. Okay. You see the downward close candle right here? That close below the liquidity area? Once you close above that candle, that is the confirmation. Damn, bro, that shit money right there. And it's in the macro. So like I'm saying, look, that's why why you think, and then it goes right back into the time, understanding what time it is. So strong downward close candle below the range, and then a close above that candle, and then as you can see, look, strong downward close, and then you close above it. Look at this tap right here, and then look at that tap right there. Perfect. That's how you could, like, that combination of those type of steps right there that's happening is what gives you that idea. Yeah, the time theory is a lot to it, bro. you gotta learn a lot before you understand. Like, bro, it's a lot to it. Like, 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 how do I explain it? It's like you gotta know all of them. You gotta know all of them in order for them all to work. But you like I say, you gotta learn. You gotta learn one of them though first. You can't just not learn anything else and then think, oh, this is gonna be the answer. No, this only helps everything else. So, but then that's what I'm saying. How are you gonna know about macro times? You gotta go understand. You gotta go watch ICT, learn about macro times. Like it only looks easy because I did all the hard work for it and like I figured it all out. But like I say, it's like even if I tell you, you're still not gonna understand it. You still have to go and really understand it. But yeah, no, that's why it's kind of just like but like I say, bro, I'm here to help, man. I'm here to help. So like I'm saving you guys a hell of a lot of time. They're all interconnected. Exactly. How much you gonna charge for your mentorship, Bitsy? For real? When I get, look, bro. When I get a few more payouts, I'm trying to hit a certain amount of number of payout before I start it. But once I do, I'm gonna charge 50 bucks a month, maybe like 50 bucks a month type thing. But it's gonna be like live calls and like I'm saying, like I ain't even started to mention half of the stuff that I know that I could pretty much save you a bunch of time